Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
PLP leader Philip Davis lashes out on the treatment of Shane Gibson at court.
The Christian Council president lashes out at demands being made on nonprofit organizations.
Coal production causing a bit of concern for residents of southwestern New Providence.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Voining to topping news tonight. Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis says PLP supporters will be asked to come together to demonstrate their contempt for what he called inhumane actions. Giorgio Bain explains.
PLP interim leader Philip Brave Davis says he was appalled and outraged by the treatment of his former colleague Shane Gibson as he was hauled before the courts yesterday. Gibson, who is accused of getting $610,000 in kickbacks from a private citizen who had a multi-million-dollar contract with the former administration, was on crutches when he went to the Nassau Street police station, but he limped into the South Street Magistrates Court complex without them, his hands cuffed behind his back. That action not sitting well with opposition leader Philip Davis and many of Gibson's supporters who stood outside the court chanting, "PLP all the way." Davis released a statement venting his frustrations. "I was appalled and outraged at the way Shane Gibson, my former cabinet colleague, was dealt with by police today. It was obvious that the man was in physical pain. I'm advised that he is recently recovering from surgery. It appears that none of this was taken into account as he was dragged to court hobbling this afternoon. In fact, he had crutches medically ordered because of this condition, and they were deliberately taken away by police." Davis asserted, "His rights did not end upon his detention, arrest, or having been charged. It is the enjoyment of rights that preserve the dignity of human existence. PLPs and others of goodwill are unsettled about what is taking place and where it is taking this country." Davis accused officials of slave-shaming former ministers of government in non-violent alleged infractions of the law, even though there has been an avalanche of violence and criminal activities in our island, which the FNM has been unable to stanch. More than 80 murders have been recorded so far this year. Davis says it is simply shameful what transpired on Thursday and asserted that the appropriate legal redress must be followed. He warned that PLPs will be asked to come together shortly to demonstrate the party's contempt for what they called inhumane actions. Gibson was the third public figure to be charged in recent weeks, with the Minnis administration warning that there could be more to come. Reporting for our news, I'm Giorgio Bain.
President of the Bahamas Christian Council, Bishop Delton Fernander, is questioning whether the Registrar General's Department has the legal authority to demand that churches produce annual financial statements. He says it's something their legal team is looking into. Jasmine Brown reports.
Fernander was referring to the Registrar General Department's recent demands on nonprofit organizations, as he says the church is now exploring its legal options.
We've received advice from lawyers that they don't have the regulatory power to require this. Now, let me make this clear. I hear people say, render to Caesar what is Caesar. That context of that scripture means we're going to pay our taxes. And we do pay our taxes. But we're also not going to let them make the church one of their subsidiaries.
The Registrar General's Department gazetted a notice that listed hundreds of nonprofit organizations who have 14 days from the date of publication of the list to become compliant with the company's Nonprofit Organization Regulations 2014. Fernander noted that political parties were noticeably absent from that list, something he finds hypocritical.
I think political parties should do this.
Definitely. I think they are non-for-profits. They were not listed.
The BCC president also took issue with the fact that not all religious denominations were listed in the notice.
The list is very partisan. Not all denominations were listed. I think we're all churches. And if we're all churches and we are asked to disclose, we should all be asked to disclose. This is dividing the church, making some members of the church body acceptable and others unacceptable. As the Christian Council president, we need a level playing field.
The notice said that people who own, control, or direct the organization are required to provide the name, contact details, and the purpose, objectives, and activities of the organization. It also requires the organizations to produce annual financial statements or other financial statements that show and explain its transactions within and outside the Bahamas that are sufficiently detailed to show that its funds have been used in a manner consistent with its purposes. Fernando insisted the church should not be grouped with the typical nonprofit organization, as he insisted the law should reflect that.
We are non-for-profit, and we're not the same as the other entities, the soccer clubs, the lodges. We are the church. In most jurisdictions, we have our own classification. We're saying that the law needs to be changed, that be done here in the Bahamas. We must see the difference between the church and the soccer club.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
The illegal production of coal near a southern New Providence community has raised health concerns for frustrated residents of that area. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
Now, this is about a 10-minute drive from the main Cowpen Road. But once you go through a few corners and a little dirt road, you see that it's clear that there is some sort of coal production going on.
This is ongoing. It is ongoing. So once they've prepared a batch, you can smell it in the air. So even though they've collected all of the coal, this will be in the air all day, all night.
When they're not dealing with smoke from the New Providence landfill, it's smoke from this area. Tucked away in bushes at the end of a dirt road off Cowpen Road, there is full coal production right next to this community in southern New Providence. Golden Isles resident Don Williams said after a year and a half, he's had enough.
My daughter, at one point, she was on some medication for respiratory issues. She's currently out of the country for it, and she's doing fantastic because of it. But it isn't something I want to continuously do, right. And it's expensive.
In addition to that, Williams says he has to keep his windows shut and air conditioning on whenever coal production is underway. On one side, burnt ground and scattered coal. On the other side, tied tree limbs cut and prepped, ready to be burnt.
So they keep all the necessary equipment, so you'll see all their bags, their shovels, and the buckets.
It's locked.
It's locked. It's locked. It's a full operation.
What makes it even more interesting, Williams says this operation had another location.
So there were a few lots over. Mm-hmm. We mounted together with some friends and family. We had that whole area bulldozed. When we had the hurricane, that helped as well because that destroyed their operation. And as they've gotten the opportunity to just move further and further away, the operation has grown bigger and the air pollution has increased as well.
I mean, looking around the area, we're in the bushes somewhere.
Yes.
Are you ever fearful? I know you said you come over here recently, mm-hmm. and often. Are you ever fearful for your safety? I am fearful. There are a lot of precautions that I take. My wife knows when I come in the back here. Friends and family know. I call the police on a regular basis, the fire department, to try to meet me in the back here as well. Like I said, we sometimes meet with hostility. Sometimes it's just the fact that they would run away. If you were to look over a few trees, you'd see just how close homes really are. Literally a stone's throw away. You deal with this several times a week then? Several times. What would you like to see come out of all of this? I would like to see this whole area destroyed. If they want to produce coal, I'm sure it's an industry somewhere, but do it someplace that doesn't affect the community, that doesn't affect persons. And it's a business, so you're an entrepreneur somewhere along the line, but do it in a safe manner. Our news team contacted the forestry unit in the Ministry of the Environment and Housing. We were informed by Danielle Culmer, the 4th officer at the forestry unit, that the ministry has conducted a site visit. She said the burning is illegal. Culmer added that the forestry unit has gotten the approval to have the area cleared and it should be bulldozed soon. She said they are currently working with the police and urban renewal and are trying to determine who is the owner of the land. For our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
It's been said that girls rule the world. Well, a global brand is seeking to teach young girls around the world the importance of self-worth through a new outreach program. Their first stop was the Bahamas. April Sands reports.
Well, it's the empowerment of the next generation of entrepreneurs, but not just any kind of entrepreneurs, but it's more along the lines of girl power.
It's an empowerment seminar and vision board party for the girls of the 2017 Urban Renewal Group, and they've teamed up with Curls, one of the most recognizable curly hair brands sold across North America. Recently, they organized a nonprofit outreach program for girls that seeks to dig deeper than the surface. They are on a mission to empower young girls around the globe. Their first international stop just so happens to be the Bahamas.
We are doing this on a national basis and an international basis as well. We got requests from Paris, from the UK. We're here in the Bahamas today, and we're going to go wherever we want, wherever we're needed. We're ready for it. This is what the mission is to help young girls. We're doing is a vision board party. Why a vision board? Because it's important to visualize what you want to see your life to look like. If you visualize and you see this reminder every day, you have this goal to work after and achieve, and it becomes real the more you look at it, and then you know what you're hoping to do and to create in your life, and it does create a path, I feel, a journey of success.
CEO and founder Mahisha Delinger said it's about mentorship, noting it's the one thing she looked for growing up on the wrong side of the tracks in New York City. She said the mentors the young girls were introduced to will not just be active for today's event, but she hopes the relationship will be lifelong for the girls. They sat around tables designing and laying out vision boards today, putting together a guideline to their success.
It's a guideline to take me there and to keep on pumping and pushing me as I look at my vision board each day.
In attendance were also a few familiar faces for the girls. YouTube sensation Kendra and Kelsey of the Glam Twins channel.
It's just about being like authentically yourself and not feeling like you have to compare yourself all the time. Especially with today's society, it's like really easy to compare yourself, and we try really hard to just show that it's okay to be yourself and just be comfortable with who you are and just not really caring about what other people think. We know that comes with time and age, but it's about...
I consider myself a bohemian, actually. I'm working on my accent. But so I knew it was just a beautiful place. It was a good place that would be fun and help people feel relaxed and comfortable, feel like home. And so yes, we're launching 3 new products. Right now they are going to be available at curls.biz. We have a coconut and blueberry hair refresher. We have a blueberry and mint scalp treatment. We also have a blueberry and coconut hair milk. All of those are going to be available this next week at curls.biz, and then at the end of the year we'll be launching in Target stores.
Reporting for our news, I'm April Sands.
You're watching the best in Bahamian news. There's more when our news continues.